Hey there, Andrea here. I am the book doula. I believe that books change lives. And as humans, we love to learn, we love to grow. So I help people write books, read books, and publish books. And so you might say I'm a little bit book obsessed. So, welcome to the Live Life Happy Unconventional Book Club. This is where I take hundreds of books, I highlight the content, and I bring it to you. I sometimes even offer interviews with the authors, and I try to suck out all the actionable nuggets so that we can turn that knowledge into power, so you can put that knowledge into action right away. So let's jump into today's book highlight. And I always want to say, though, before I do that, I really do suggest that if something sparks your interest, or if you want to dig in a little bit deeper, I always recommend purchasing the book and supporting the author, because they put so much time, energy, research, expertise, and knowledge into these books. So definitely support the authors. So I am so excited because I highlighted such a great book. It's called Start With Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. This book is by Simon Sinek, and it's amazing. Wait till you jump in here. So companies seem to know what they do, like what they do in terms of selling products. So they also maybe know how they do it. So they know how they do what they do. But very few companies actually know why they do what they do. So do you ever wonder why some people and some organizations are more innovative? Maybe they're more influential, maybe they're more profitable than others. And also, do you ever wonder why people, they almost have this ability to command more royalty and loyalty, rather? And royalty, that's fun. I'm in the book world, you can tell I'm talking about royalties here. Anyway, so they also command greater loyalty from clients, customers, employees. Do you ever find yourself curious about how these successful individuals, they seem to repeat their success over and over again? But how do they do it? Now, Simon Sinek, he started a movement to help people become more motivated at work, and also so that they can inspire their colleagues and their customers. Simon Sinek really does talk about this fundamental question. This is the first question that he usually gets to, is what is your why? So in his groundbreaking book, Start With Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action, Sinek talks about insights of that typical question and all the typical questions around success. So starting with why shows that individuals who have this shift, they are focusing on why it is that they're doing that. So they're influencing the world in a more profound way, because they're communicating their why. And that's really what he talks about. And all these successful people, they seem to typically think of, about what they do and how they do it, but rarely do they look at this why. So he says that people and organizations can inspire us. They can give us a sense of purpose and belonging. And it has very little to do with external incentives and benefits or like sales pitches. So Start With Why is about a natural occurring pattern. It's a way of thinking, it's a way of acting and communicating that actually gives us the ability to inspire those around us. So Sinek believes that if more organizations were able to do this, if more people would do this in their business as entrepreneurs, he says that if they learned how to start with why, more people would wake up fulfilled, and they would feel more excited to go to work, excited to be motivated even in their work, and also they'd be more happy with what they do. So a direct quote from Simon Sinek is that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So let's jump in. We're going to talk all about what does it mean to start with why. So starting with why is about creating your reasons and your beliefs. Sinek suggests that there is a reason why some organizations and businesses, they can thrive even when others are failing around them. And his reason is their why is well articulated. So when organizations have convincing beliefs and they have a cause or a mission, vision for themselves, rather, they can inspire loyalty in others, and they actually inspire people to support them and stay with those companies, right? So have you ever had that? Like, can you think of a company that no matter what happens, you're totally loyal to that company because you know their cause, you know their why, and it's just a company that you definitely want to work with, or a person that you want to work with? You have a degree of loyalty towards them. I bet you they have a very strong why that is articulated. So why forms the part of your identity within an organization, within a business. It informs why people do the things that they do. So great leaders and visionaries have a powerful why. And according to Sinek, he really talks about the why does not come just from looking ahead at what you want to achieve and then figuring out, appropriate strategies to get there. He says it's born from a place where you really look inside, and finding your why is a discovery process. It's not an invention. It's not a system of doing things. So when companies can go back and start with why, or individuals can tap into their why, this is all about what they believe. It's like they tap into that innate drive in them to include their value, their beliefs, and in their products and services, it'll show up. So I love this. And so for me, for example, like, why do I do what I do? I believe that books change lives. I believe that as humans, we go through struggle and challenge, and I don't ever want to put the struggle and challenge to waste. And we have sometimes experiences that we can share with others, and knowledge and expertise. I believe that books change lives. And so because of that belief, everything that I do, whether that's doing book clubs like this, whether that's, helping people write their book with my book doula services, or publishing, I definitely am helping people help other people, right? And change other people's lives. So my vision, my why is very strong and very important. So reading this book is like, okay, when I'm talking to people, am I communicating why I'm doing this? So it's really important for you to do the same thing. Like, what is your why? And so when companies start with why, what they believe, what they value, what is their cause, it makes people want to be a part of it. It makes people feel special. It makes people feel like they want to belong to something bigger and a part of this. So they're more likely to be loyal to you and motivated, even if they're working with you, if they feel like they're a part of this tribe affiliation, as he put it within his book. So another quote is, why comes from the past. It's born out of the upbringing and the life experiences of individuals. So what are some of the things that you really believe in? What are some of the things that you've experienced, or what experience have you gone through in life that's really given you, a cause, or you have a strong gumption about that? For me, my dad gave me my first book, and it really helped me because I had a whole year where I didn't go to school because I had crippling anxiety. And that one book really did help me, amongst other books, of course, too. But that was my introduction to books. So, it's really important to go back and think about those things that you have been through in your life. What are your experiences, and what is it that you really value? What's your cause? So 3 lessons to take away from the book Start With Why. I really tried to capture this. And of course, always support the author and purchase the book if something sparks your interest. If you want to delve in more, this is for the purpose of this highlight and the key takeaways. So 3 lessons to take away from the book Start With Why. So the first one is, if you want to inspire others, always communicate your why first. So we want to communicate our why first. So we often know what we do, but we are not always in tune with why we're doing it. So emotions are really, really powerful, and emotions actually trump reason when we make decisions. So you can see how powerful this is. So when you know our why, or the why, you own it more. You have a gumption behind it. So only when you understand your why we do things, will we feel that sense of belonging, that sense of passion, and then we'll actually go above and beyond to support that when we know our why, with our time, with our energy, and with our effort. So once we are sold on the cause of an idea, and that's when you can then start telling everybody the what and the how, right? So it's the idea that you want to start with why and start all communication with why you do things, essentially following this all the time. So then after that, talk about how you do things and also talk about what you do. So Sinek suggests that if you want to inspire others, keep telling them why you do things instead of what you do. And you'll see a huge change in your level of success as well as your level of engagement. So what is your why? Why do you do the things that you do? I'd love for you to investigate that. So another lesson that he talks about within his book is excited employees or individuals are the best resources for any business or entrepreneur. Excited employees or individuals are the best resources for any business or entrepreneur, right? So if you think about that, right, if you start building a business around a cause, that's what he's suggesting within his book. But then he also talks about then you need to assemble the people who actually share your why. Assemble the people that are motivated by the same cause. And then they'll totally be motivated in work as well. And I can attest to that. Whenever I have clients that are, in the world of positive psychology, they really do mesh with, it's part of my tribe. And it's really fun because we're able to have that connection. We have a similar cause. And for us to create books together or book clubs and things like that, it just happens so lovely, right? Because it's just, we're a part of the tribe together. So building a business around a cause is really important. And then assembling the people who share the same why as you. So looking for people who are motivated by the same reasons that inspire you. So seeking out clients, even like, so if you're an entrepreneur and you have clients, seeking out clients that share a similar mission or cause, because you want to hire clients and hire people for their cause instead of their craft, or just instead of the numbers in your sales book. So looking for people who are already motivated by the same reasons that you are. So that is one of them. Excited employees and individuals, they're our best resources for any business or entrepreneur. So another lesson within the book is you don't need slimy sales tactics or manipulation when you start with why. And it's so amazing because, what, I'm sure you've all said this. I'm like, oh, I don't want to come across salesy, or you don't want to like be a slimy salesperson. And I don't know why that's gotten such a bad rep, but that person, right? That, comes into your inbox and they're pitching something to you. So those are forms of psychological manipulation. They're forms of sales tactics. And what he claims in his book, which is so exciting, is that you don't need to go to slimy sales tactics or manipulation when you start with why. So instead of focusing on these psychological manipulations, like he talks about sales funnels or limited time offers, these things he talks about, they don't create trust and they don't create loyal customers. When you start with why, on the other hand, you are just communicating basically from the inside out. You're communicating your cause, you're communicating what's important to you, what you value, and it builds customers who trust you. It builds customers who want to work with you. It builds customers and people who are true fans. It brings employees that are going to be more motivated than any other employees. So authentic connections are really what matters. And he talks about this in his book about it. It matters more than price drops and sales tactics and things like that. So he does talk about starting with why is actually more inspirational, and it actually builds trust. So it's more inspirational, less manipulation, and so it does build trust. So companies that don't have a strong why, they rely on price and rewards and manipulation to keep their customers. So he talks about that, if you think about some of the big companies that you are loyal to. And he brings up like Apple or Harley Davidson, and he talks about how they inspire people to love their products, and they have such a strong why. So when inspired, customers are more willing to overlook any sort of price or any sort of extended wait times because they're loyal and they're inspired by you and the brand. So it builds trust and belonging. And I think that's so important, right? And then this belonging, this trust builds a whole culture. He talks about it in his book, and it attracts people who believe in the same thing. So many great, amazing nuggets there of wisdom and ideas. He also talks about this idea of the golden circle. So at the center, he talks about having the why, and then out from there is the how, and then the what. And he does talk about the why is basically your purpose. What is your cause? What do you believe? Why does your company exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? So the why really targets what he also talks about in his book, The Science, is the limbic portion or the limbic system of the brain. This is what deals with emotions as well as memory. So emotions are really, really important because that's where we can touch people. That's from the inside. He talks about the inside. So your why, your purpose really connects to people on an emotional level. So then he talks about the how. So the next layer out is basically delivers the what. So the how you do it is delivering what you do. So it includes, your value proposition, your product differentiators, your unique selling propositions. This is how something is different or better. The how is your process. It's the specific actions that are taken for you to realize your why, the how you do it, right? And so the what is your action. It's a matter of action. Most companies, people, they know what they do. What do you do, right? And so it's the result of your why. It's the proof. That's what you do. So the what corresponds to the neocortex part of the brain, the more logical portion of the brain, the new part of the brain. And so you can see how it's really important to have the why connect to people on an emotional level. So a direct quote: if all companies started with why, then decisions would be simpler, loyalty would be great, and trust would be a common currency. So that's basically it for this book. So many amazing nuggets here. I did capture some key takeaways for you. So some key takeaways are: the goal of business should not be to do business with anyone who simply wants what you have. Right. So it's just like, I remember I had a client that came to me and they wanted to write a book, and it was completely out of line with, the typical books that I help people write. And I had to say no because it wasn't in line with my cause and it didn't align with my publishing company. So I like this element of it. The goal of business should not be to do business with anyone that's willing to, to pay. It should focus on the people who believe what you believe. And then he also talks, another key takeaway is all great leaders have charisma because they have clarity of why, their why. So an underlying belief in the purpose or the cause that's bigger than themselves. So he also talked about the great key takeaway too, is that you can, once you have your why, you can filter everything through your why. So if your why is to lead, for example, like a healthy lifestyle, you'll probably pick only fruits and vegetables or celery or things like that. So the idea here is to filter your decisions through your why. And he talks about how this can really save you money, time, energy, effort. And it's all about staying true to your cause and always walking things through your why. Good. So the why is within you. And once you find and know your why, he says it's so powerful. And that's the most challenging part, just to stay true and faithful to your why. All right, so he does talk about finding your why, a purpose or belief for your company, for you yourself, and stay consistent with it in everything that you do. And people buy your why, what you stand for, not your what, not your products. So that is it. So if what you do doesn't prove what you believe, this is a direct quote from Simon Sinek, if what you do doesn't prove what you believe, then no one will know your why, what your why is. And you'll be forced to compete with price, service, quality, features, and benefits. So knowing your why, you can move away from having to rely on your price and things like that. So that's it. So if your what, you want your what to prove your why. So here are some food for thought action items for you. So whether you're an entrepreneur or a leader, I invite you to go away and assess your why. What is it? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? Why does your organization exist? What's the cause? That's a good one. So another one you can do is identify some brands that you feel inspired by and think about those brands that you're really loyal to. So what makes you purchase their products or services? So what do you think that their why is? Is fun looking at that. So that's basically it, my friend. From this overview, specifically, what do you want to remember? What do you desire to do from this fantastic overview? This book is so great. Start with Why, How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action by Simon Sinek. I am so excited. I hope you enjoyed that book. There's so many wonderful, actionable nuggets. And of course, don't forget to purchase your copy and support the author if something did spark your interest, because there's so many actionable items in this book and nuggets of wisdom that you don't want to miss. So feel free to comment, write a review, or hit subscribe so that you'll be the first to gain access to all my latest books that I pull out from my book vault and share with you. So sending hugs, everybody. Wishing you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.